Good job, Jerry. About to check out the Sad Decline of AEW. This video is by WrestleMania. Once again, AEW over the recent, maybe month and a half, ever since Edge joined them and Jay Cargill and CM Punk, which was recently, just joined WWE, where CM Punk returned to WWE, AEW's ratings and their show attendance has been a downward spiral. They've been going down. The attendance rating has been low. And I think the TV's rating, WWE's TV ratings has been beating them just about every single week, man. So we're about to hop into this video and see the sad decline of AEW. Let's go.
But is it game over for All Elite Wrestling, the promotion that once had capacity crowds and knocked NXT from Wednesday to Tuesday nights? Join us now as WrestleMania looks at the sad decline of AEW. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. So how did it come to this? Well, poor ticket sales, dismal ratings for Rampage and Collision, and reports of gloom and doom in AEW. What has caused AEW from a viable alternative to WWE to a promotion that has become a laughingstock to fans and one whose survival seems in jeopardy? Well, let's look at how things went from the penthouse to the outhouse for AEW, just how bad things really are and whether AEW can turn things around. Nothing succeeds like success. And for some fans, it's difficult to recall how groundbreaking and successful AEW was. The promotion was a huge gamble considering it had no TV deal and would have been the first significant promotion in the US since WCW's demise. AEW wasn't afraid to be different, bringing in wrestlers many casual fans were unaware of, but who showed plenty of potential from their runs in smaller territories. AEW's first pay-per-view Double or Nothing was a sellout and brought in excellent pay-per-view numbers, despite fans used to paying $9.95 to get WWE pay-per-views on the WWE Network as part of the streaming service's overall content. While more than a few fans scoffed at the likelihood of AEW's success, the promotion not only landed a TV deal on TNT, the former home of WCW Nitro, it crushed the WWE's attempts to sap its ratings by airing NXT at the same time. For a time, AEW could do no wrong. The promotion's success with Dynamite led to TNT extending its original deal to 5 years and adding much needed money into its coffers. AEW programming was exciting and featured a variety of styles and wrestlers. Fans and wrestlers tired of the moribund WWE product began looking at AEW as a solid alternative to the WWE. It wasn't soon enough where wrestlers saw it as an alternative for employment and were ready to jump there when their contracts expired. While AEW had its problems, particularly in the women's division, which was weak enough that some critics argue AEW put a hiatus on it until its wrestlers were better trained, the company was a wild success. Not even the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic seemed to slow it down. AEW succeeded thanks to its fresh booking, use of factions, and a willingness to book tag team wrestling as more than a sideshow attraction. AEW did its best to connect with fans through social media, cultivating increased interest. The promotion was doing well for itself, bringing in solid numbers for pay-per-views and attracting some of wrestling's biggest names to the promotion. So what went wrong? A slow but steady decline. Businesses can go belly up due to various circumstances such as mismanagement, overexpansion, bad investments, a failure to comprehend important changes in the market, complacency, and many others. However, a successful business typically doesn't go out of business overnight. It's a process that slowly builds momentum, eventually taking an owner by surprise. Often they don't know what hit them, even though the warning signs were there from the very start. In the case of AEW, there have been warning signs for some time. First is a failure to grow its audience. AEW Dynamite is a show that performs consistently well. Wednesday nights are a good night for the show as the WWE runs neither of its main roster shows against it, well, at least for now. It's also developed a core audience willing to stay with it. Unfortunately, AEW has been unable to grow its audience beyond 1 million viewers. While AEW continues to perform well in the ratings in terms of coming in at the top 5 of cable television, it's not appealing to all wrestling fans available. AEW has shown discipline in sticking to the fundamentals that built its initial success, but it needs to consider finding a way to keep its existing fans and bring in new ones. The second is a bloated roster.
That's true.
One of AEW's biggest problems is its bloated roster. Tony Khan's hoarder-like mentality toward acquiring any and all talent released by WWE has led to a highly underutilized roster. Since AEW is a private company, it's unknown how much they pay for its talent. While that's unknown, we do know that AEW has so much talent that it's not used because there's not enough TV time to utilize them.
Yeah.
This has created a major problem for viewers and wrestlers, as it's rare that anyone but a top-level star gets any consistent booking. Now, this problem isn't unique to AEW, as Triple H has found himself in a similar situation. Still, in AEW's case, the amount of wrestlers it has under contract is mind-boggling. Thirdly, other overexpansion. AEW's overloaded roster isn't the only example of excess in the company. AEW's initial success led the company to launch its own wrestling game. This costly and lengthy process produced an average game with very average sales. Granted, it was an ambitious undertaking, but it was unnecessary so early on in AEW's run.
I thought it was
and
a success.
Hindsight, a clear example of AEW's reach exceeding its grasp. Another problem is AEW's decision to go ahead with running its Saturday night show Collision. On paper, it seemed like a good prospect, as Warner Bros. Discovery would pay AEW additional money. The promotion would have another 2 hours to air content on cable TV rather than YouTube, and it seemed like a possible solution for the company's problem between CM Punk and his detractors. Putting Punk and wrestlers friendly to him on one show could keep any disgruntled parties apart, giving Collision the added attraction of Punk anchoring the show. But the problem with Collision is that it had a terrible time slot, as it often competes against sports programming that limits Collision's audience. While also CM Punk has only worsened Collision's ratings. Fourth, its problem with big men. One of the many ways AEW distinguished itself from the WWE was its willingness to utilize various styles of wrestling: strong style, lucha libre, traditional mat wrestling, and more. The variety of styles created exciting matches and variety except for one area: the use of big men. While AEW has several big men working on the company, such as Wardlow, Lance Archer, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Big Bill, they've been primarily used to smaller wrestlers, although this appears to be changing. AEW's booking of its big men made it seem like the company wanted to ensure no one confused the promotion with the WWE, where big men with little wrestling ability tended to get undeserved pushes. This refusal to book big men well has hurt AEW, as seen by its short-sighted booking of Wardlow, an agile and talented big man whose popularity was white hot after he left MJF. It's difficult to recall such a hot act being so mishandled by the company. Fifth, injuries are us. Another persistent problem for AEW is its unwillingness to rein in many of its performers' penchant for turning wrestling matches into glorified human demolition derbies. While wrestling has evolved and will continue to, AEW's performers' hazardous activities in the ring have led to far many injuries. The high injury rate isn't limited to high-flying and daredevils like the Lucha Brothers or Darby Allin. For example, Bryan Danielson continues to work a strong style despite a scary medical history and a tendency to get hurt. Although AEW has issued directives limiting certain moves or requiring wrestlers to obtain permission to use certain maneuvers, AEW's injuries show no sign of stopping. Number 6, AEW's CM Punk problem. If anything epitomizes AEW's management problem, it's the company's handling of CM Punk and the rumors of Punk and other wrestlers going into business for themselves on camera and backstage. While we may never know the whole story of 2022's All-In Post-Media Scrum Battle Royal, where Punk, Ace, Steel, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega had some sort of dust-up, Tony Khan's inability to keep things from reaching the boiling point shows his lack of leadership. Allegations that Khan acts too much like wrestlers' friends and not enough like a boss may be warranted. Chris Jericho's recent comments that everyone in AEW needs to work under Vince McMahon for 6 months are another sign AEW's president lacks leadership skills. And too many C-listers. AEW doesn't have a problem with its booking, it has a problem with who books it. AEW's booking is solid for the most part, with the promotion booking storylines that develop over time but typically don't drag. The promotion has created compelling characters played by people who can perform fantastic matches. AEW is brimming with many main eventers or wrestlers who...
I don't really watch AEW, so this is all new to me, y'all.
Uppercarders and mid-carders. For some reason, AEW think fans are interested in its mid-card talent. Traditionally, a promotion is wise to use wrestlers on the undercard to develop talent. However, AEW has so many main event and uppercard talents, mainly relatively young, that it doesn't need to use wrestlers who fans see as an enhancement talent. It's downright criminal that AEW underutilizes talents like Miro, Andrade, Lance Archer, and others.
I think Andrade just recently left.
The most devoted fans want to see, and judging by the ratings for
I read that somewhere.
The number is dropping. But is AEW profitable? A critical factor in the equation is whether
he's about to leave.
The company boasts of revenue gains, but as we pointed out, how much is the promotion bringing in compared to how much it's spending? AEW's roster has to be expensive, and it's hard to imagine the company is making money renting venues when they are full of empty seats. Unfortunately, AEW is bringing money in from its
Are they going back to London?
Fans seem committed to purchasing additional shows beyond the
Next
traditional
year.
quarterly shows.
Was that London?
Nonetheless, it isn't as certain
I just
whether
looked at the
AEW
date.
is making a profit
Next
yet.
summer.
That isn't unusual, as starting businesses often deal with low profits or operating at a loss. The question is just how much money AEW is losing and how much longer Tony Khan can expect his father to bankroll him. One thing's for sure, the WWE smells blood.
Yeah.
A history has shown that the WWE is always ready to take out a competitor when the opportunity arises.
WWE already about to put a Raw on another network on another day. Might not be Monday Night Raw no more.
More than a storyline. McMahon will take any advantage, and right now AEW needs to be mindful of its vulnerability. Whether it's booking a wrestling show against Dynamite, which is a possibility as it's unknown whether Raw will stay on Monday nights, or which night NXT will air on when it moves to the CW.
So more like they might put it on Wednesday nights again.
Warner Brothers Discovery into acquiring Raw, the WWE knows that time is on its side.
Yeah.
But is there any hope? A recent report from Dave Meltzer suggests a sense of pessimism in AEW due to the ratings woes and poor ticket sales. While part of the problem is perception, as it's easy to see bad ratings and empty seats, but wrestlers may not be seeing intangibles such as TV rights or pay-per-view money. AEW is in a bad spot. Just how bad remains unknown. We know their ticket sales have been rubbish lately, and their Friday and Saturday shows struggle weekly. However, history has repeatedly shown that promoters can take a company on life support and revive it. It was seen with the WWF when Vince McMahon adopted the Attitude Era to combat WCW's dominance with its New World Order fueled success. Ironically, the NWO storyline was just one, albeit a large component, of Eric Bischoff turning WCW around from a company that couldn't draw a few viewers or sell tickets. Bischoff faced many of the same problems Tony Khan faces. But what do you guys think? Is AEW on the decline?
I don't think it's on the decline.
Down below. I'll see you next time.
It's gonna change in a couple months.
Content.
Alright, y'all, great video, man. Let me know down below in the comments of what y'all thought of my reactions to this video. Like, comment, subscribe. But till next time, I'm out. Peace.